When you're trying to do something, no matter how excited you are about it in the beginning, there will come a time when you feel like giving up. And when that happens, you may feel discouraged and you may even throw yourself a bit of a pity party, which we absolutely can't have, right? Which is why in this episode, we're going to talk about 3 specific things that you can do in order to get out of a rut and get unstuck much faster. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Up It and the Actionables podcast. My name is Payton. If you're a returning viewer or a listener, thank you for tuning back in. If you're new here, then welcome. This channel brings you mindset coaching tips which can help you move toward your life goals. So if you haven't already subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button and the bell icon. That way you will get notified every time we bring you content, which is every week. With that, let's get into this episode. Most of us have experienced that every time we start to pursue something brand new, it feels fresh and exciting. But soon what happens is the same goal that seemed exciting no longer seems that way, and it may even start to feel like a chore. And if this goes on for too long, that's when pursuing that same goal becomes extremely difficult. It is this transition from when your goal feels fresh and exciting to when it starts to feel like a drag. If you can do few simple things, then getting back on track and feeling unstuck becomes much simpler. Think of it like a pendulum. There are going to be ups and downs. The single biggest mistake I believe that makes pursuing goals difficult is if we expect to pursue goals in an easy way. Instead of expecting things to be easy, what if the first mindset shift we train ourselves is to expect challenges? Expectation that the pursuit of our goals should be easy is the very reason why most people get disappointed when things start getting tough. If we taught ourselves to anticipate challenges that are mostly likely to come up, then we can be better prepared for those challenges. So the type of challenges that you should expect are both internal and external challenges. Internal challenges would be things such as not wanting to take action, feeling lonely, discouraged, and the external challenges would be lack of resources, skills, time, or money. But if you've been following this channel, then you know that even the external seeming challenges are actually internal challenges at the end of the day. Because to overcome any challenge is actually all about figuring out your mindset. So I'm curious to know what you think the role of mindset is when it comes to pursuing your goals. So go ahead and drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Mindset shift number 2 is to activate problem-solving mode. Due to something called as negativity bias, we human beings are wired to look for negativity in all situations. However, if you want to pursue your goals, then you can't just stick with this wiring. You will have to undo it. And the great news is that we can. Of course, it's going to take practice, but it is certainly doable. So every time you're faced with challenges, instead of letting your natural wiring take over, you will have to learn and train your mind to look for positive situations. And how do you do that? You do that by asking yourself, what can you do about the situation you're currently in? So one of the tools that I absolutely love and recommend called the 6 Hats Thinking by Edward de Bono. And this is what the model looks like. Imagine there are 6 colored hats: yellow, green, red, white, black, and blue. When you need to think and activate your problem-solving mode, think about wearing each of these imaginary hats. When you wear a specific color hat, you are to think about the solution in a specific way. When you don the yellow hat, it is all about positivity. You're going to try to see the benefits of the situation that you are in and what opportunities that it currently offers. Next, the green hat represents creativity. So you're going to allow your mind to run free and generate ideas without censoring them. Red hat is about emotions. How do you feel about this situation? It's a great way to look at how you actually feel. White hat makes you focus on all the data that is there. So analyze the available data and the trends to make a decision about the situation. Black hat represents the downsides to this situation. This is where you play the devil's advocate. What are the possible worst case scenarios? You may want to take a defensive approach here and imagine all the potentially negative outcomes that this situation has. Finally, the blue hat. That is about controlling the process. This is good and effective to help you think about when there is absolutely no progress and when you want to make some sort of action toward what you want to achieve. By shifting the thinking to wearing perhaps another hat. While education has taught us a lot, but it hasn't taught us how to go about actually thinking. The final mindset shift to help you get unstuck is to return to your why. Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, beautifully explains how successful people and companies are always clear about why they do the things that they do. Figuring out the tactical steps behind how you need to go about pursuing your goals is something that is currently available thanks to the technology that is available. However, the reason behind why we want to achieve our goals is something that is deeply personal, and it is not easy to figure it out. Yet, figuring out the reason behind why you want to pursue your goals and achieve your goals is one of the most critical factors whether you will actually be able to pursue and achieve your goals. For example, the reason behind starting a business can hardly just be about making money. I mean, sure, money will be a byproduct to running a business. The reason why people go ahead and create a business is to either solve a problem and create a meaningful impact. So I encourage you highly to figure out the real reason, the motivation behind why you want to pursue this goal for yourself. And this is not just a one-time activity. Spend time with yourself to figure out the reason and remind yourself of why you started to pursue this goal in the first place. Returning to your why is an extremely critical step for you to bounce back from whatever is holding you back from pursuing your goals. So that's a wrap on this episode. If you want further coaching tips, then don't forget to hit subscribe to our free newsletter, which is called One Thing to Help You. Till next time, I hope you'll remember that what you want matters and it's really up to you to make it happen. Stay happy and stay healthy. I'll see you in the next one.